Welcome back to Columbus Brick by Brick, the show where we uncover the people, projects, and ideas shaping Columbus, Ohio. I'm your host, Jon Styer, broker and owner of Styer Real Estate Professionals, where we help agents build thriving, scalable businesses through personal coaching and hands-on support. Each week, we sit down with the leaders, entrepreneurs, and changemakers who are moving the city forward one brick at a time. And today, I'm joined by someone who's become a cornerstone of Columbus real estate community, Katie Mastroianni, owner and publisher of Columbus Real Producers. With a career spanning 14 years in nearly every corner of the real estate world, from affiliate to title to publishing, Katie has built a powerful platform that not only celebrates top agents, but strengthens the entire real estate ecosystem in our city. In this conversation, we'll explore the journey that led her to Real Producers, how she built trust with affiliates and agents, and the behind-the-scenes challenges that most people never even see. We're also going to dive deep into what it takes to spotlight integrity-driven professionals, why community connections matter more than ever, and Katie's inspiring vision for the future of real estate in Columbus. If you're in real estate, business, or just passionate about what it takes to make Columbus thrive, then you're in for a treat. So let's get into it. Well, Katie, thank you so much for joining us on Columbus Brick by Brick. I am so excited to learn about you and your journey in real estate and how you became the owner and publisher of Real Producers. And please take it away. Walk us through your journey and let us, for those of us who don't know, learn more about you.
Sure. It's honestly one of my favorite stories to tell because I feel like every step in my life led me to the moment of the opportunity of being a part of Real Producers. And it was a very, very long journey to get to where I'm at today. And my goodness, my kind of real estate career started, I would say, honestly, all the way back to 2005, because I went from restaurant management and working in restaurants into, like, my daughter was really young at the time, and I wanted a more normal work schedule. So I had worked at Cooker. Those of us that are similar to my age, people are like, yeah, I remember Cooker, the biscuits, the ranch dressing I still dream about, like a spinach and artichoke dip, the cheesecake. It was really a wonderful restaurant back then before the market was saturated with restaurants.
Sure.
But I went to work, and I think my daughter was like 2. I mean, it's so long ago, it's hard to recall, but the bank had closed the restaurant. And so I walked in and the door was padlocked, or I attempted to go to work. The door was padlocked and I was out of a job. And I was the main person really through an entire 24-year marriage that wasn't that great, that was financially responsible for the family. So I was like, oh my gosh. So I ended up following a general manager from there to Ted's Montana Grill, and was there for a little bit. But then I'm like, I've got to get out of this industry. I mean, I'd work 3 to 11 and then 7 to 3. And
Totally.
My daughter was younger, and I just was a shell of a person. And so then I went into leasing apartments.
Okay. Great place to start in real estate.
Yeah. And I ended up, it was a huge growing time for me as an individual and learning how to talk to people. I ended up eventually at the Pines at Tuttle Crossing, 2005, and worked there for about 6.5 years. And when I left, I was the property manager. And so I worked for Miss Pat Igo, and she and Charlotte Van Stein are really good friends, and they are iconic backbones of the real estate industry. So it was really like this soft introduction to that world. And again, you reach a crossroads in your life where you're like, it was 2011, and I'm like, if I don't get out of this business, I'm going to go crazy. Like,
Completely.
I was living at the apartment community, 460 units. I could write a book.
Now, did all the tenants know that you lived there and know where you lived, or?
I feel like for the most part, because I'd go to the pool and people would be like the self-awareness is pretty lacking. And, hey, I have a service request that I need. And I'm like, bro, I'm just trying to hang out and be a person.
Yeah.
Like, please. So the lack of anonymity, it just really, and the stress of it, there are multiple reasons why I needed to go. But again, I'm so grateful for that time because the conversations I would have to have with people and the situations that arose.
Property management stuff.
Oh my gosh. Wild. And sometimes you'd have to tell somebody no with a smile.
Yeah.
And so I really developed this way of like conversation and speaking to people through almost survival sometimes. In that position, it was so hard. But I really learned a lot about myself, and Pat taught me a lot. She was not easy to work for, but I know I had her respect, and that's when sometimes when you work for more challenging owners, you learn a lot about yourself and you develop things that I wouldn't have developed had I not worked for her. So I am grateful, very, very grateful for her. So then one of my friends, who was the previous property managers, she knew somebody at the title company that I ended up going to work for in 2011. And my daughter was 10 at the time. And I always say, sometimes naivety is a superpower. Because I remember Pat looked at me and she was like, you realize how hard that is, right? Like, she couldn't believe I was leaving. And I was like, no, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I need to believe in the product I'm selling. I cannot work for somebody that I don't, or a product I don't believe in.
Sure.
And I'm like, I'll figure it out. So I worked there for a short 9 months, and I did realize the time requirement was too much. Zoe being 10, and I was working 60 plus hours a week.
Sure. And were you like a sales rep, or what were you doing with
Yes, I was a sales rep.
Okay, yeah.
So during that time, it was a refi market.
Okay.
It was a refi market,
Yeah.
and I drove to Cincinnati and Dayton once a week. And I learned a lot. Again, all these things you pick up just skills that lead you to the next step. So I was like, okay, what am I going to do now? So I left and I worked for a high-performing loan officer at Fifth Third in Upper Arlington from 2011 to 13. Then the market took a huge dive, and Fifth Third laid off a ton of people. And in order for me to keep my position, I had to become a loan officer, which is not something that I wanted to do.
Not what you wanted to do. Yeah.
But again, I learned so much during that time, the ins and outs of lending and all of that. And so I ended up going back to the title company. They created a position for me. This is a long story, but it's relevant.
It's interesting,
I hope it's okay.
too. No, please, by all means, because you're unique in that you've worn so many hats in real estate, which is such a unique perspective that, no, please continue.
Okay. It all led me, it's all a path to where I'm at today. So I went back to the title company. They graciously created a position for me. And I was there for it was 2013. I left in 2019.
So you were there for a long time, not 9 months, 6 years.
Yes.
And what was the position that you were fulfilling there?
So when I came back, I was kind of in a sales support role.
Okay.
Closing concierge. I sat up front, but I did a lot of behind the scenes implementation of, systems and working closely with the owner and another gentleman that worked there. And really, it was really fulfilling for a time. And then when I left, I was the sales manager. However, sometimes work environments can shift and things can become not mentally healthy and slightly toxic. And so this was 2019. My daughter was graduating, and I'm taking stock of my life. I think I was 42 at the time. And I'm just like, I have to say this so people understand, never discount just that gut feeling where you're like, I'm meant for more.
Sure.
You're like, this isn't my stopping point, but I don't know what's next.
It's a stepping stone.
I literally have no idea, but I know I'm meant for more. And so the marriage I was in had always been wrong, but, life really smacks you in the face when your daughter's leaving the home and you're with this person and you're still completely supporting the family financially. And I just really sought God at the time, and I was just like, God, I can do what I can do, but you have to do what I can't do. I know I've got to get out of here, and I have no idea what I'm going to do. Because at that point, I don't have a college education. I've just worked really hard all my life, and I considered being a realtor, but I knew financially I could not survive.
You didn't have the runway.
I mean, I didn't have someone backing and helping in the interim.
Yeah.
So this is wild. So it was February when I met Bobby Wright, who started Real Producers at that time 3 years before. So he started in 2016, 2019. I had met him once before. He had come in we are completely supported by our partner affiliates.
Yeah.
Agents don't pay to be a part of it. They completely, literally fund everything we do. So he came in to talk to the title company I was working at to be a partner. I was sold on the idea months before that. I was like, this is awesome. We have to do this. But the owner didn't get it. And so the owner called Bobby back in February. I swear it was just for me. And he didn't know it.
Right.
Because we are not looking to spend money in February as a title company.
Right.
Like, you're lean and mean. It's cyclical real estate. It's really down during that time.
Totally.
Time of year, typically. And so a phone call changed my life. Like, he came in and was talking about the platform again, and I was like, I'm calling him. I've always been super obsessed with the human story. And years ago, John, I had this idea for a business called Tell Me Your Story. Swear to you.
Wow.
Where this is, again, before all of the technology had kind of come into play.
Yeah.
And so I always thought, how sad that when someone passes, whether they're elderly or of a disease or whatever, all their memories and experiences pass with them. And so I wanted a way to, like, through video recording or voice recording, like, create something that packaged to give to family. Like, so how cool, like, that my grandson would hear my voice and hear my story. And so anyway, I called Bobby and I was like, are you hiring? Like, I'd love to do what you do. You tell stories for a living.
Right.
There's so much more than that, but and he said, no, I'm not. And I feel like, I hope this is how it went. So we ended the call, and then he ended up contacting me again, and he's like, Katie, I've heard great things about you. Like, let me see what I can do. And I was really reaching my breaking point where I was working. So I remember we had to turn this thing around real quick. So I took a leap of faith, and he hired me on to do sales and run events, because we do 4 large-scale events per year.
And they're big.
Yes. And minimal salary. So I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. But there was also commission based on what I sold. And within 9 months, he got an opportunity elsewhere, and he asked me to take over the business. And, like, I get goosebumps when I talk about it, because I also have to tell you that Bobby paid for me to go to a Tony Robbins conference in July of 2019, which gave me the courage a few months after that to say, you know what? It's now or never. This marriage, it's now or never. If I don't do something now, I'm going to be 50 and full of regret. And I walked across the hot coals, and I'm like, if I can do this, no matter what, because I was somewhat fearful of my ex, and I knew I was all he had. So once I took that away, I really was fearful of what would happen. But I thought, you know what, if I can do that, I can do anything. No matter what's on the other side, I'm going to do it. But
Good
so
for you.
I told him in September, and Bobby had asked me around that time to take over. So I'm going through this divorce I was a shell of a person. I mean, I was in survival mode. Like, the best thing of my life was happening while one of the scariest things of my life was happening. And I'd never run a business before either. That was also terrifying.
Totally.
But what's cool about the life experience I had up until that point was, you know what? I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I believe in what I can do. I believe in myself, and I'll put one foot in front of the other, and I'll figure it out as I go. And the rest is history. So. And
now here we are.
Yeah.
And that belief has turned into us sitting here, and your success, and I've seen it. I'm excited to learn more about it. For the listeners who maybe don't know what Real Producers is, tell us what it is, what are the goals and the values of Real Producers?
Before I go into that, I want to make sure that I drive a point home, because I think most humans, if not everyone, has a crossroads in their life where they're like, I have to either go this way or that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want people to know that I am not a risk taker. I'm very much risk adverse.
Yeah.
But what is so powerful in life is when you reach a crossroads in your life where you realize you have one life.
Mm-hmm.
And so I realized I didn't want to live with regret.
Mm.
And so many people I think in life and in their jobs, I would just go to the office and see so many people that I knew weren't happy.
Just existing.
And I wanted more for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so no matter what was on the other side, I was willing to bet it all. Like all my chips were, you can have it all. Like no matter what's on the other side, I'm willing to do whatever I have to do to not stay here.
Yeah.
So, and I think this is just my experience. You just know when you know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you just know when you have to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So
it sounds like timing played a big part as well.
Incredibly. Yeah,
which sometimes,
incredibly.
And call that whatever you want, whether that's, luck or whatever, but sometimes that's an important piece of it.
Yes.
And sometimes some things are out of our control.
Yes, because there were so many times that I wanted to do something different or leave the marriage or what have you, and it's like everything culminated in that moment in time. And I find typically when God is involved, it happens like dominoes. It goes very quickly. But you have to be listening and you have to do what you can do. All right, so we'll get back to Real Producers, which I just love. So Real Producers is actually a national concept, and Bobby Wright started it. We were the second city to launch this concept 9 years ago this year in Columbus.
That's interesting. I did not know that. I knew it was national, but I did not know that Columbus was one of the first.
Yes.
Very neat.
Very cool. So Bobby Wright, I always say what Bobby Wright did, I don't know that I could have done.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, imagine coming to a market and saying, believe me,
Brand
this is
new
a good
concept.
idea. Yes. Yeah. Mr. and Mrs. Affiliate, it's not inexpensive to be a part of this, but it's worth every penny. We're going to have amazing events and produce this incredible publication.
Yeah.
And people are going to love it. And we have partners that have been with us since day one, 9 years later. And to me,
Kudos.
that is such a thank you. Those are the markers of success to me, because
Completely.
If people are with us and we have a high renewal rate or high fall off rate and a low renewal and retention rate, we're doing something wrong.
Right.
We want people, our partners, to see the benefit as well as our realtors.
Totally.
But anyway, Bobby was friends with Remington Ramsey, who started this concept in Indianapolis 10 years ago. And so now, and it depends on the year, we're in, I think, around 140 markets nationally. Remington saw a need in any given market so we are connecting the top 500 realtors by volume. So it is specific. It's just how we were designed. It is exclusive. Our events are for those individuals and only for our preferred partner affiliates. But he found that in any given market, those agents typically, you won't find them at many events because they're entrepreneurs running businesses.
Right.
They're doing business.
They're busy.
Yeah, they're serving the community, their clients. They're not interested in going to typically a standard industry event. That's not the case for everyone, but typically.
Right.
And as an affiliate, it's nearly impossible, very challenging to build relationships with those agents.
Right.
So,
And because, speaking from experience, you are kind of on guard.
yeah.
Because so many people are getting at you.
Yes.
And trying to garner your business,
Yes.
which is understandable.
Yes.
Especially as agents and business owners, you're trying to get business too, but you have to kind of protect yourself. And so there's so much value, I can imagine, for your affiliates in what you offer.
Yes, and we really drive, one of our core values is to the best of our ability, we vet our partners. We don't just let anyone join. I mean, I've actually turned people away if I feel like they don't align with our values and value relationships over transactions.
Yeah.
If they're I always call them a 2010 loan officer, and they're stuck in the 2010s and they don't realize business has shifted.
Yeah.
And you have to add value, and you have to also, these agents at this level, they're not just doing this this is their livelihood. This is their reputation, their integrity. They want to partner with their preferred partners are an extension of their team.
Exactly.
And they value that that way. They view it that way. And so they're an extension of their business. So they're not just going to partner with anyone. So we really try to get the best of the best in the room with our events, affiliate and realtor alike.
Yeah.
So
if you've been listening to this podcast, you know that I believe in building real estate businesses that are scalable and sustainable. And that's exactly what we help agents create at Styer Real Estate Professionals. If you're an agent who's ready to grow and tired of spinning your wheels, then consider this. Growth is change. At Styer Rep, we coach to your strengths, match tools to your style, and help you scale your business without burning out. And there's no fluff, there's no hang your license culture, just serious growth, real systems, and 100% commission when you cap. So head to styrrep.com/join us to start the conversation, because it's time to go from where you are to where you belong. Well, that's great. I want to talk to you about some growth that maybe you've experienced from 2019 when you took over Real Producers to today where it's thriving. What was the experience that you walked through that time with, and maybe a lesson or two that you've picked up?
What a great question, John. You know, when I started, I was just trying to figure it out. And I feel like I was operating from a lot of fear and feeling Bobby is, if you know Bobby, to know Bobby is to love him. And it was massive shoes to fill. And Bobby and I are vastly different. Vastly.
How so?
Bobby is a true entrepreneur.
Okay.
Like that mind that's always looking, he just thinks differently than me. And it's a good thing. But it's an intimidating thing because my husband's the same way. He owns a business. I've never set out to own my own business. I am a support type person. Let me make you look good. I thrive on somebody.
You're more of an implementer.
Yes. I thrive on somebody telling me I'm doing a good job. When you're your own boss, it feels, quite frankly, wildly uncomfortable most of the time.
Yeah.
Because I want somebody else to make the decisions and me to just help them look good. So I found that I was operating from a lot of imposter syndrome at first and fear.
Totally.
And oh my gosh, I hope I can keep this thing afloat. What if everybody cancels because I took over? What if I, am not as good as Bobby? What if? And I feel like maybe I did that for a year.
It's hard to overcome that.
Yes, because the vision he had for the platform was also different than mine. I genuinely care about the content and the stories and how we're delivering the stories and how the brand is adding value. So it took me a while to, I think, settle into that. And I second-guessed that heart position a lot. But I think now 6 years in, it's honestly what's differentiated us from other markets and why we've seen such success and buy-in, because I genuinely care.
Well, and I think that shines through in the product that you're putting out and the value that has to not just the people that are featured in the magazine, but also the people that have the opportunity to read it. But furthermore, the value that is provided to the affiliates, because people actually want to read it. It's not just a vehicle for marketing. It's actually something that, hey, I look forward to getting this in my mailbox or seeing it on my social media because I'm actually interested. I've
always said if you're not interested in reading it, then what's the point? And this is really hard. It's kind of hard. I mean, I think it's easy from the outside to look in and it just looks glamorous and we're just making a magazine, and there's so much more to that. I've counted, I do 22 events a year in total.
Only 22?
only 22, 4 very large scale. And by the way, I plan those and I'm like, gosh, I hope I get sponsorships. I mean, because if I don't, I'm
You're
our
on the hook.
affiliate. Yes.
Yeah.
And so, but one of my core values, and I'll share some things I've implemented that has really filled my cup, but it's a dual purpose. One of my core values is, am I adding value? Am I creating events and content that there would be a hole in the market if it wasn't there? Am I creating events where people walk away from them and say, I'm glad I spent my time doing that?
Yeah.
Because I think one of the things of being an affiliate for 8 years that gave me such incredible perspective is I'm trying to create things that I wished were in the market during the time I was an affiliate. There are so many events that I go to or I attended and I was just like, gosh, I could be with my family. Like, it's the same 15 people and it's the same, there's no depth here. There's no, and there's a place
It's stale.
for those.
It becomes stale.
Yes. And so the privilege and honor that I have is I get to curate events that I always want to be giving back. And for the longest time, we're initially set up to just do 4 social events a year. And I'm like, our brand there's so much influence to our brand. How can we use it for more good instead of just 4 social events? I mean, that's not giving value. So I implemented, starting last year, 2 panel type events and then 2 social events. Now, with our panel events, there's still an opportunity to network and be social because that's also the point. But how can we utilize our platform to touch where the pulse of where the industry's at now and add value? Because we can bring people together in such a cohesive way where we're like Switzerland. I mean, you can be from any brokerage or any... It doesn't matter. And so that's been a privilege. I implemented magazine release parties that you were just a part of where which was
great.
I force people to stop and we talk and we talk about your stories and we talk about the hardships. And because I think there is an epidemic in our society, and I'm guilty of this too. I am not perfect, where we generalize people and we think we know them because of social media.
Right.
But we don't. We have no idea what they've been through. Like what I've learned from people's stories, the points of suffering, the crossroads, what they've been through. We're all human. And so, again, also one of my core values is to shine a human aspect to the glamour of
and that's
real
one
estate.
thing that's so enjoyable about the stories is that it isn't all sunshine and roses. It's the ups and the downs. And when you're reading one of the stories, it's because you know that the person that is featured has been through it and they've come out on the other end. So
yes.
So that to me, that's something I really enjoy about the stories that are in Real Producers.
Thank you, Jon.
Is that I know that I'm gonna get to enjoy a story about someone who might have had some struggles.
Yes.
In achieving what they have. But you can draw inspiration from that.
Well, and that's super curated by me. So you've been through the process of being featured. You know, I provide a video, whether we actually have a conversation, which is how it typically goes, but I'll send a follow-up video to remind you. I ask you to be as vulnerable as you feel comfortable. Now, sometimes, depending on the agent and their personality, they will not. Right. And it sounds more like a commercial for their business, whatever. But I really try to not force the issue, but hardcore, look, we know you're successful. You're in the magazine because of that.
Right.
We want to know, I want somebody to read your story and be inspired and say,
humanize yourself a little bit.
Yes, if Jon can do it, I can do it. And I'll say one more thing, and then I'll stop talking on the subject. But the other thing that I implemented last year was a women's group, Real Women, Real Talk. We meet bi-monthly, and we are vulnerable. One of our mottos is women first, business second. But talking to all of these incredible women in real estate, successful top 500 that have 3+ small children at home, I am so inspired by, honestly, real estate professionals in general, because I don't want to be a realtor, guys. Like, I promote your success and what you do for communities because the professional agent, I am the biggest advocate.
Yeah.
Our communities need professional agents. that don't do this for a hobby, but
Right.
there is so much more to it. You change destinies, communities, you're advocates for change.
And you mentioned something about like the difference between transactional and relationship. And, there can be a stigma around realtors,
absolutely,
real estate agents.
Yes.
And so the importance of operating with that relationship reputation mindset is what can be the difference between lifting up the perspective, the community perspective of real estate agents versus tearing it down.
Yes. And I think more than ever, it makes our platform more relevant. I think relational, peer-to-peer, top 500 agent relationships are more important than ever because we need to continue to move forward and all of us voice how important the professional agent is. Like even I sometimes my own I love you family and my own husband. Like unless you're in the trenches and you've actually been in real estate at the closing table hundreds of times, you just don't know what this is like. And so when I hear people denigrating, oh, they're just unlocking a door and they're collecting a big paycheck. Some agents are like that. They're pretty hands off and they are compensated heavily for not doing a lot. But that is 9 times out of 10 not the case, guys.
Right.
And unless you're doing this professionally, you're also 100% commission. So the respect that I have for that alone also, you cannot last, I wholeheartedly believe this, in this industry without operating from integrity, doing right by your clients. This is a big industry, but it's very small. And your reputation is all
everything.
you have.
Yep.
Eventually, that's all you have.
Yeah.
So I am 100%, and I really utilize this platform to try to communicate that message of the professional agent. It's
so important.
One of my missions. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You mentioned something that I enjoyed hearing and I agree with is that you are all about adding value. What are some of the challenges that you faced in being able to add that value for both your affiliate partners and the top 500 agents in our market?
And that's a burden that I carry. I have to be relevant to my affiliates and realtors.
Yeah.
So my burden is to both parties. And I will say during COVID, we have a lot of incredible area directors across the nation that I've leaned on that are smarter than me, that have way more of an entrepreneur mind than me. And during that time, I just copied and pasted some ideas that people were doing. And shout out to Colleen Rippey in Baltimore. During COVID, I was like, there were markets where real estate was not deemed essential and area directors nearly had to close up shop. And so I did not lose one partner during that time.
That speaks volumes to you.
And I was panicked because one of our core values and missions is in-person events, okay? So I remember I got really busy because I had to do a huge shift. And so I created this series based on inspiration from Colleen of Real Estate for Today. And so I was doing large-scale online events during that time and still continued to bring value. So that was a scary time for me. And in terms of today, I'm just always trying to keep my pulse on the market. And at the end of the day, we're all human. So I always think, as a human in real estate today, affiliate or realtor, how can I meet the market where it's at with my platform? So I kind of work backwards from there. I have a panel event in September. Not exactly sure what I'm going to talk about, but I'll figure it out.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah. I have an idea of one of the things we'll touch on, but I kind of want to get closer to that time because our markets the last 5 years, it could change in 2 months, in 2 weeks. Yes. Yes. It's
completely
mind-boggling.
And how do you handle that? I mean, do you feel like you've been doing it a while now and you've been doing it very well? Do you still feel like heavy about it? Do you feel stress about that? Or have you come to a point now where like you're way beyond that imposter syndrome and what I'm hearing is I'll figure it out. I'm going to be fine. You have the confidence. What was the shift there? When did that happen? And what were some key parts of that?
Experience, just simply experience and experimenting with what I believed to be valuable and it actually working. Mm-hmm. I mean, I second guessed myself a lot at the beginning. I used to literally, guys, I'm kind of an introvert. Like this position still feels heavy.
It's a very social position.
Yes. So if after an event, I won't schedule something for myself. Like I literally take the day or two off after because you were there and I get interrupted. I'll be in a conversation and then it's kind of uncomfortable for me. Like I have to make it about other people.
Yeah.
But I love my events. Like I used to cry before them. I was so
like pre-game
stressed
cry.
out. Oh, cry. And I'd be like to my husband, I'm like, you just don't understand the pressure.
Right.
I don't want to let people down.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. I'm so fearful of people being tired of this or not seeing the value or me letting people down. Mm-hmm. My affiliates, realtors, whatever that looks like, it's a heavy burden.
Yeah.
So I still have a hard time sleeping the day before an event, but once I'm there, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's still heavy.
And that's okay. I mean, it's because it's important to you.
Yes. But I kind of have the things down to a science. But because I'm risk adverse, I try to continue to like kind of look at other people's viewpoints and opinions because just put me in a lane and I won't move from it. Yeah. Like I'll just stay there. But if you're stagnant, you're not growing. And so kind of the pressure of always trying to figure out how to stay relevant is something I think about pretty frequently.
Yeah. And I think that you do a great job of that.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah. What is something that surprised you about this journey that you may not have expected or this change as you came from someone who's new at this to now like you're an experienced professional in this? What's something that surprised you in that?
You know, when I started, and I've said this at some of my events sometimes, when you're an affiliate, you sometimes cannot choose the agent you work with. Mm-hmm. So for 8 years, I did have a bad taste in my mouth with a lot of agents and how I was treated in the affiliate space. And so what I was surprised by, what I've been surprised by, and look, I'm not naive to not know that people are giving me their best face when I'm meeting with them.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder, are you being nice to me because of me or because of who I am? And that's really an uncomfortable space to be in sometimes. I am a very private person, actually. And the older I get, the more private I'd like to be. So I wrestle with that. Yeah. But the level of human and professional agent I've met over the last 6 years and conversations I've had has just renewed my faith in the professional agent and frustrated me that there are so many agents out there that give this community a bad name. Yeah. Because they are not integral and they see all the flashy posts and they think this is easy and it's how to make a quick buck and how you treat people matters.
Completely.
You could be this agent and then the way you talk to your title rep, that's who you really are.
Yeah.
And look, this is an emotional business. I've certainly had emotional days and not treated people properly.
Yeah.
But if that's kind of how you operate in general, don't think that doesn't get back to people. I'm telling you. Right. Don't think if you're a terrible co-op and you're prideful and you tell people how long you've been in the business and you talk down to people.
Right.
People talk.
Reputation, again. And it is a small community when it really boils down to it. And that can be the difference between some level of success and a great level of success. If they really want to work with you, that will change your business in the positive.
Absolutely.
And it does get around.
In my July pub note, I've actually recycled this. This will be my second time, but it's important. It's why realtor-to-realtor relationships are important. In my event a couple weeks ago, I read a piece from that. It's so important, and it's something I'll never stop preaching. And look, it takes effort to come to events. It takes effort to invest getting to know someone. But at the end of the day, with everything that's happening, I believe that will never lose its value. And I would venture to say it's more important than ever. We
This will
can't
always
get
be a
away from
relationship
it.
business.
Yes, I really believe that. I'm passionate about it.
I agree with you completely. Mm-hmm. Well, let's shift gears a little bit. I want to hear about what are some visions that you have for the future for real producers. You've been doing it for about 6 years now. Mm-hmm. What does the next 5-6 years look like? Or is it?
You know what, John? I don't, because to continue to operate from our core values, and I have to give a shout out to RP. When it was introduced 10 years ago, mm-hmm. we are under the umbrella of the N2 company. So we have another product called Stroll. It's the neighborhood publication. Mm-hmm. We have it in the markets here in Columbus. Yep. And they launched RP not realizing, I think, the impact it was going to make. So I've watched our backbone company really come alongside us in the last 6 years and realize the impact we have and continue to have, and have incredible support systems. They're continually growing and meeting us where we're at. So, for instance, we have a national conference in Dallas, September 29th and 30th, and we are bringing all RPs nationally together for one conference.
Cool.
Tom Ferry, Rory Vaden, all types of speakers, local agents. Kathy Cairo is going to be there speaking to national agents. We're just to see the brand grow like this has been really cool. Mm-hmm. And to be a part of it from almost the ground up, because it had only been in existence 3 years here in Columbus at the time I took over.
Yeah.
It's been really cool to watch. So in terms of the future, I operate from adding value mm-hmm. and meeting people where we're at in the market, whatever that looks like. Mm-hmm. So our women's group that we've done has been wildly impactful, and it's one of my proudest things that I've implemented. The relationships and the support that has taken place through that has been just a beautiful thing. And I didn't need one more thing to do. Mm-hmm. I didn't need one more event to plan. But I was like, I sat down with an affiliate and I just was feeling a little burnout. And he said, Katie, what else can you do then to give back with your platform?
I know the feeling though. Like it when you have the ability to do it, you just want to do it. Mm-hmm. You know? So yeah. I know what you're saying.
Yes. And so I launched it, and I've created a logo and everything for it. And it's just something I'm really proud of, very proud of, because it also gives back to me. Mm-hmm. I was like, if I'm doing something, I need it to fill my cup too, mm-hmm. because, there's a real sales aspect to this position. Yeah. I can lose thousands of dollars like that. Right. If I have 3 non-renewals, I can be in trouble mm-hmm. for real. Yeah. I mean, this is not inexpensive to run, guys. I mean, we mail out over 600 magazines a month. Just the print and production of that is thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And then I give a certain percentage of my ad spend to my parent company. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm a franchise.
Right.
So sometimes there are months, when the market dipped last year, I got to where I was pretty much breaking even.
It's hard to own a business.
That's pretty scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, do I let go of my editor that I pay? Do I literally just do all of this myself and lose my marbles?
But you saw it through?
I mean, I did. And I went through a sales focus and bumped it back up. But that's the other privilege of being a business owner too. It's this catch-22.
Yeah.
Wherever I put my focus, that's where it goes. Mm-hmm. And I should be better at sales. I should be better at telling the mission of what we do, because I really believe we can make a difference for our affiliates. So I have to a lot of times reframe it. I do so believe in what we do that we can genuinely. I have story after story after story for realtors and affiliates. Katie, I can't imagine not being a partner with you. I had one of my girls who's an affiliate. She said, Katie, you have us for life. I'm like, that's how I know that we're doing we're successful. That's how I mark success to me, is making an impact. So
you do.
Thank you.
Of course. We're getting close to wrapping up here. I want to ask you one more question.
Okay.
I have had an agent tell me, who was featured on the cover of your magazine, that was the moment that really changed their career. If I'm a new agent and my goal is to be on the cover of Real Producers, what is one piece of advice that you can give them to achieve that down the road?
You have to consistently do the things that aren't glamorous. You have to consistently do the things behind closed doors that are really boring or are really hard. One of my, also a proud thing that means a lot to me, is we've featured several agents that were on the rise and then got to be on the cover. Our cover features are typically around the top 200 by volume. And to be on the rise, you don't have to even be in the top 500. One of my dear friends, when we featured her, she was around the 2000s. But I just knew the type of person she was, and I saw the effort she was giving, and I'm like, I believe in her. You just know when somebody has it, and it's consistently showing up and doing the work. And success has no choice but to show up.
I love it.
In my opinion.
I love it.
And having the right support and the right mentors. And I do want to say, one of the questions I get asked is, Katie, how do you choose who gets featured? And it's a myriad of ways. It's someone reaching out to me.
Right.
You and I connected, and it's been one of my greatest blessings. Like, how can I be in this business and not have known you? You know what I mean? And
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And I love when people do that, or a team lead says, Katie, you have to know this agent. Or I just see somebody, I meet them, I'm so impressed with them. I met Nathan Blades at the Leadership Academy. I was asked to speak at that, a career highlight. And I also believe people come into my path for a reason and when I'm supposed to tell their story. God gave me this position. So yeah, I know how life-changing it can be for people, and that's a lot of weight too. So those are some of the ways that people become on our radar. You can reach out to me.
Yeah.
And either you qualify or you don't. I had somebody reach out to me recently, and I was like, hey, I respect you and what you're doing. I'm so inspired by your story, but we do have criteria that we have to meet and try to stay within. And sometimes that's really hard for me, because if you're at 1,500, you're probably a pretty good agent. So, but this is a really cool space to be in.
Well, good. And I want to thank you for joining me, for sharing
What a
your
privilege.
story.
Thank you.
You share so many stories. Thank you for sharing yours, and thank you for being vulnerable. If someone does want to reach out to you, where can they find you?
Well, go to realproducerscolumbus.com. We have an amazing website that I need to promote it. It's redone. You can see past issues. You can connect with our partners.
It is a nice website.
Thank you so much. I'm really proud of it. You can see our link for RP Elevate. You can get tickets for it. If you want to be a partner, you can book a link through Calendly with me. And you can use that same link if you're a realtor. I'm going to update that, so I've got two different ones. But you can find me there. I have the longest email in history. It's katie.mastroianni@realproducersmag.com. You can find me there. It's on our Facebook. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram. I'm pretty easy to find.
You're easy to find.
Pretty easy to
I
find.
ask everybody that.
But I love that. That's a
somebody wants
great
to
question. I'm so glad you said that, because our website's pretty awesome.
Good. Well, thank you again. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
I always enjoy chatting with you, but this was great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. What an honor. Thank you for giving me the platform.
Well, that's a wrap on our episode of Columbus Brick by Brick. I want to give a huge thanks to Katie for joining us and sharing her journey from title work to publishing to becoming a trusted voice in Columbus real estate. We heard powerful insights today about building a community, over competition. We heard powerful insights today about building community over competition, leading with integrity, and why the most successful agents aren't just top producers, they're passionate, purpose-driven professionals shaping our city. If this conversation inspired you, I want you to take a moment to subscribe, leave a comment, or share it with a fellow entrepreneur or real estate pro. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Columbus Brick by Brick, and visit columbusbrickbybrick.com for more stories and resources. So thank you again for listening. This is Columbus Brick by Brick, where every brick has a story, and we're here to tell it. See you next time.